Okay, in this podcast we're going to talk about concentration cells. You made a concentration cell in the lab the other day where you took, on one side you had 1 molar copper sulfate and the other you had 0.1 molar copper sulfate. And you should have gotten some voltage, so let's talk about how that happens. So in a concentration size cell, both sides have the same components. In this case, in this concentration cell, they both have zinc plus 2 ions, zinc nitrate or zinc chloride or something like that, but they are at different concentrations. So the question is, which way are the electrons going to flow? And then we need to identify the anode and the cathode. So let's take a look at how this works. So what we know is that there's 0.1 molar here and there's 1 molar here. And what standard conditions have is the same concentration on both sides. And what we want to do is equalize the concentration. So in order to do that, I need to reduce the concentration of zinc plus 2 ions here. Okay. So in order to do that, this guy needs to pick up some electrons. And in order to do that, the electrons are forced this way. So the electrons will leave the side with the lower concentration for the side with more concentration, because it's going to take the zinc 2 plus, add electrons to it, and this is going to become zinc solid, and this electrode will grow. Okay, so the electrons are going to flow from, let's just say, 0.1 molar to 1 molar. So identify the anode and the cathode. Well, if this side is losing the electrons, this is where oxidation is occurring, so that's going to be the anode. And if this side is gaining electrons, this will be where reduction occurs, so this will be the cathode. Okay. So if we were to have, here we have another concentration cell. We start with a high concentration, a very low concentration, -1/3 of nickel on the left and a high concentration on the right. Lots of nickel plus 2 ions here. I want to lower the concentration. This side needs electrons, so they'll flow from this side. Okay, so you can get some voltage out of a concentration cell, but it's usually pretty low. So if we were to do the half cell reactions, we would end up with an E cell of 0, right? Because this would be some positive number. This would be equal in magnitude but opposite in sign, and so this would equal 0. So E cell will be 0, but E cell will not. E cell is when we have concentrations that are not standard. So again, this is a non-standard condition, and we can get some voltage out of this cell if it has different concentrations of the same stuff. And that's what a concentration cell is.